I want to know about meditation and if that has a specific space in the emotional guidance scale, or if it sort of floats depending on your sort of set point.
Well, meditation can be beneficial at any time, because in the quieting of your mind, you stop resistance, which allows you to empathize with your true vibration. In other words, if there's no resistance in your vibration, then your natural vortex is going to take you in, and you're going to become one with who you are. That's really what the process of meditation accomplishes. So if you are in the vicinity of hopefulness, very close to the edge of your vortex anyway, you could focus your thoughts in a hopeful way and go right into the vortex, or you could quiet your mind and go right into the vortex. Where if you are depressed, it would be unlikely that you could focus your thoughts from depression into enough optimism for the vortex to take you in quickly, but you could quiet your mind, and in doing so, the vortex could take you in. So with that understanding, meditation is a really good tool for someone really out of alignment with who they are. And yet, meditation is the process of alignment. We would rather see you in the vortex in a state of appreciation than in a state of meditation. Because when you are in a state of appreciation, you are focusing thought and you are having a more exhilarating experience. So there are some people who meditate in a sort of attitude of escape. But if you meditate to escape and then you go right back to your thought that holds you out of the vortex, then not so much has really been accomplished. The coupling of meditating for the purpose of soothing and focusing for the purpose of soothing. In other words, we would just use every tool or trick we could find to get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex. And then we would really get good at affirming, at affirmations of the way we want life to be once we are in the vortex.
Okay, good.
We do not mean to say that meditation is escape, but in quieting the mind, you are less focused. So what you want to ask yourself is, when is it an advantage for me to be less focused? And the answer is, it's an advantage for you to be less focused when you're focused upon something negative. So then the next question is, can I be in a state of meditation and focus positively? What do you think? Can you get into the vortex and then visualize? So sometimes people are meditating, quieting their mind, feeling their vibration raise, and then while it feels to them that they are still in the state of meditation, they're focusing or scripting or imagining things the way they want them to be. But when we define meditation, we define it as a quieting of the mind.
Yes. So it can be useful in various spaces depending on where you are, but there are times when you may not necessarily want to use it. There are times when you're kind of flying and you're like, I just want to get to a more blissful place by
just think about it in your own when you're flying high and feeling great.
You don't want to
Is
stop.
that the time you say, I think I'll quiet my mind?
No.
Or is that the time that you want to focus on what you're feeling great about?
I want to focus on what I'm feeling great about. Okay, so all right. The next question. I'm in the health field, and I do body work, and I love what I do. I go to you guys have helped me be incredibly successful in my own business, and it doesn't matter what's going on in the rest of the world, just it grows and grows. And I kind of want to also sort of see myself as expanding beyond that, well beyond that. And I'm not really, one of the things that I enjoy most about the work that I do is I have the opportunity to align myself with my source. And
it's essential to your success in your work, isn't it?
Yes. And
because if you don't take the time
fun.
to line up with that, you have nothing to give anyone.
Nothing. And I think I have a lot to offer when I align, and it's the most fun to get into that space, and then sort of I spend my time sort of helping people get into wellness. And so I align, I focus on their wellness, and I feel like I'm sort of this bridge for them to, like, I hold the space of believing that they, and knowing their wellness.
Perfectly stated.
And
Perfectly stated.
And then they sort of use me as a bridge to their knowing.
Yes.
And
as long as the bridge just goes one way to wellness, everything works out really good.
Everything works out well. It also helps me stay well and become weller, because when I focus on a restriction or unwellness, it doesn't work out too great. So
good.
For me or for them.
So it seems that you have figured out to feel the vibe of the wellness, and you are focusing yourself constantly in that direction. Good.
As often as possible, and you guys are really helping me do that. I appreciate it. And you also really helped me get that it is about me aligning my energy and not theirs.
And then inspiring theirs.
Inspiring theirs. And there are a couple of, now here are a couple of the questions that I really have that I want to kind of help. I want you to help me figure out how to be of most benefit to them and myself. So I spend a moment, similar to you, I think, feeling where the restriction is. So I kind of settle in and I go there for a moment. I know where they want to go now. And so I try to spend as little time focusing on the problem, but I do go there momentarily at least, and then start working back from there, going to a place where I feel good as I'm working on them. And also just imagining them feeling awesome and talking to them about sort of repitching their own dialogue in their bodies about their bodies and other things, whatever is important to them. And I just want to, I think that sometimes I spend too much time focusing on the restriction. I want to figure out how to spend less time doing that. And I also want to know how to talk to them as well. Like sometimes I'm transmitting my knowing about my alignment and about how to use my guidance system and how to be well, silently or through many mediums, through language. And sometimes like you use the story about the glass breaking, and sometimes I will talk to them about an experience I've had, and how I have come so far forward using my emotional guidance system. And I think I'm in the right place with it. I think I'm thinking about that in a way that feels comfortable to me, but I will later experience some sort of manifestation or a worse feeling. And I think, am I not supposed to be starting from the bad point? Like, is there a way for me to help them get into the vortex without telling them how well I've done from the point that I've come, or that I know that they can get to a great place because I have healed in this way or that way, or I am so much weller?
Well, first of all, before you go further, we want to say you're right on track. And what we can feel from what you're offering and from the way you feel as you were describing it, we can feel that you have a sensitivity, a true energy healing sensitivity to where people are, with a powerful interest in moving them to a better place. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we cannot offer anything essential that we would suggest that you do differently. Okay. We also want to say to you that we can feel that, and this is really important, a teacher or a healer for that matter, and they are more the same than they are different, is only as effective as their ability to understand where their patient client is in relationship to where they want to be. Yes. Because just like with the focus wheel that we were demonstrating earlier, if you start too fast in too high of a vibration with them, you will throw them off in the bushes.
Yeah.
So it is sort of necessary to hook up with them where they are and move them. Your awareness of that and your sensitivity to wanting to move quickly is as good as it gets. In other words, so just trust that you're on track on that. Also, when you are visiting, as you were describing Abraham often doing, as you're telling a third-party story, so to speak, that's really an effective way to teach, because in talking about the identical energy situation, but not using them as your subject, yes, but using someone else, is very diffusing in nature, so that they can feel the benefit of the movement without getting defensive about it. Yeah. So there isn't anything that we could suggest that you change or that you do differently. We just encourage you to relax and trust that you are receiving guidance and that you are following it.
Okay.
Relative to your wanting expansion. Okay. Now, a big expansion.
Yeah.
in terms of your business. What you know is not easy to teach to another practitioner. And in order to have the expansion that you are looking for, where you can leverage your time in that way, you're wanting a facility where more people can do what you do.
Right.
And so hold the vision of that, and hold the vision of law of attraction, bringing those cooperative components to you, because there are people with the same sensitivity that you have that you can teach your process and methodology to, who are ready and really eager to participate in something the way you have it going on. So just be aware of when you are offering thoughts that block it, such as, well, there's not really enough business for two of us right now, or such as, I really don't have a big enough place, or I need to jump out and expand in a stronger way than I'm ready to do. Just trust that it will unfold perfectly. And label yourself first as a teacher and second as a energy practitioner. In other words, it's the teacher part of you that is the truest vibration of who you are.
And I do feel that.
And the reason we say that is because you are as effectively teaching with your words as you are with your energy movement.
Yes, that transmission is really powerful and really the most fun. So I've thought about that direction you just commented on. I'm not entirely sure that's the direction I want to go in, but I do think about transmitting in different ways to different bodies of people who are interested in whatever I might know and might have fun experiencing, that transmission.
Well, that healing that you're doing, that's why we're saying define yourself as a teacher rather than a healer, because that healing is more of a one-on-one experience.
I want to expand out from that, and there are just book ideas and things like that, all that sort of thing that so many of us here in this room have bubbling within us, and so many of us want to come into alignment with that. And I also feel that perhaps if I think, I'll work on that later when I have these other fish to fry right now. I'm dealing with this vibration and that vibration, but I wonder if maybe I kind of bring myself into alignment with that if that's really what my inner being is asking me, directing me toward. That's my next sort of
when
fish
you
to
say
fry.
My inner being is directing me toward, you have to understand that your inner being is not standing apart from you, knowing who you are and knowing what you came to do and trying to direct you to some path. And instead what's happened is your own life experience has launched the rockets that have created the vortex, which is present tense. In other words, there's not just a path waiting for you. The whole book deal is there. In other words, it's not just a path.
I love you.
It's a culmination in the way you want it to be. But it feels like a path unfolding as you allow yourself into the vortex where you see a piece of it here and a piece of it there and a piece of it there. So just relax and feel the fullness of it and enjoy the unfolding of it. That's the thing that you know about the energy work that you're doing. You enjoy the unfolding of it. There is something so pleasurable about moving the energy. And how is it different to move the energy relative to anything that you are doing than it is to move the energy in someone's body? It's exactly the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so let me try and I want to be very clear and concise and try and help you understand what I really want to. Okay, so this place I started, like when I get into that, you talked about empathy yesterday, and clearly I'm empathizing when I feel where they are, and then I can move forward.
Briefly, yes.
Briefly, very briefly, yes, exactly.
And in the same context of what we were talking about as we were doing the focus wheel processes, where when you know what you don't want, it catapults you into an awareness of what you do want. So that's part of your finding what's in their vortex. By probing around in the energy that you're calling the blockage, you are actually pinpointing what is not wanted, which makes you vibrationally able to see more clearly what is wanted. Does that make sense to you?
Can you say that a little?
In the analogy that we are offering, there is a process of the focus wheel. Did you notice how we ask someone who we're trying to get on the wheel to first identify what is not wanted?
Yes.
And we say it in I feel disappointed that I can't find whatever it is. And there's something about really poking around at what is not wanted that then makes it possible to know the in the vortex statement that is wanted. In other words, by knowing what you don't want, you parlay yourself more clearly into knowing what you do want. And even today, everyone in the room, or nearly so, felt or witnessed clarity about what was wanted in the center of the wheel, because we poked around on the outside of the wheel in what isn't wanted. So in exactly the same way, by poking around in the energy that equals the resistance, there is an equal and proportionate awareness of what is wanted. That poking around is what gives you the path that helps you know where to lead them to.
Yes, okay.
That's big.
Yes. Okay. Yes.